Gotta clear my. What's good, y'all? I want to get into time and how it's an illusion. See, science knows now, like, time is an illusion. It's bullshit. It's what we use to as a measurement. Like, you need time to like know. You need clocks to know what time you're going to work and things you got to do. But it's bullshit. It's an old paradigm. The problem is we're still living by these old paradigms because they've been programmed into our subconscious. So it's like materialism and all that. Science knows that the world comes from the quantum field, but we still operate in materialism and time because it's been programmed. But there's new, we haven't programmed the new theories into our mind yet. We had the old ones beat into us, and so, but your subconscious mind is what creates your reality and dictates your actions. So even though our conscious mind might be aware of like things like simulation theory, the multiverse and all that, and that time's an illusion, you have to get that programmed in your mind because a lot of times we're still operating on old paradigms. There's this book, it's called Your Brain is a Time Machine. And really, like, that's wrong. It's your consciousness is the time machine. And if you want to transcend time, you want to marry yourself to the present moment, to the eternal now. Because everything exists now. Time is a product of the 3D world. It's so we can experience this. We can experience ourselves we can experience ourselves in the motion of creating, but it doesn't. It's just a product of this 3D reality. But we can transcend that through our consciousness, because our consciousness isn't trapped. The body is trapped in time, but our consciousness can transcend time. And we do that by reaching a higher state of consciousness. And we do that by being in the present moment. No future, no past. See, people get wrapped up in thoughts and they miss all the synchronicities. They miss all the synchronicities because they're constantly thinking about what so-and-so said, what happened yesterday, what they're gonna get to do when they get home. But your power is in the present moment, like right now. Like forget about the past. Forget about what you did in the past. The present moment. That's all that exists. Thinking like, let it go. Work to let it go and bring yourself back. Learn to bring yourself back to the present moment. I'm sorry, this coffee's good. It's fire, cinnamon. Love cinnamon. I'm a fiend for it. But yeah, your power is in the present moment, in a calm, relaxed state. And you access higher information by being in the present, and you'll see synchronicities. Like when I, at a certain point in my spiritual awakening, I started seeing synchronicities, numbers like crazy, to the point that it was like what the, like I had never been into numerology or none of that, you know, but I kept seeing 1 1 1 1, and I'm like, that has to mean something. Cause like I was seeing there was a moment in time where it was just like every time I would look at the clock, every time it would be like 1 1. Like I would look at the clock at, um, you know, 11 11. If I woke up at night, if I would see 1 1 1 1, and to a point, and then I started looking it up. Like it was getting too obvious, and you'll see all the synchronicities and stuff that are trying to guide you. It's your higher mind. And to be honest, I'll be keeping 100. Like thought I was going crazy for a while. Like I'm like, I'm tripping. There was because it was my ego was like, you're tripping. Then the other part was like, no, this is something. This is because I had been on my spiritual journey. I was getting pretty felt like I was getting pretty advanced in my spiritual journey. But then there came a point where it hit where it's like, all right, this is getting really weird. I tapped into something. And you'll see all bunch of synchronicities, but it's you have to be present. You'll see all bunch of weird, you'll start to notice things. And I believe these things are happening throughout our life. We're just in our minds. We're just overthinking. We're not present. We're not paying attention. We're not paying attention to the here and now. And so we miss all the guidance that the universe has given us because we're taught to be in our heads. The Matrix teaches us to stay in our heads and analyze everything from the analytical mind. And so we're not present. We're not in tune with our intuition, which is our guidance from our higher mind. We're not in tune with that because we're caught in the thoughts. But your power is in the present moment. So when you I don't care what so and so said, even if it was a minute ago, let it go. It's in the past. Forget about, even if the present moment doesn't seem that great. So what? Train your mind to accept it, accept the present moment. That's a big part of creating your reality, is being present with what is. And also get back to time being an illusion. And we got to reprogram our mind, because a lot of times our reality is being created by what's going on in our subconscious mind. And what's going on in our subconscious mind a lot of times is from earlier on in our life, which a lot of times is based on trauma, ignorance. And so we have to be conscious, and we have to let a lot of that old programming go, and start to and start to create new programming, because you're a creator. But when you're unconscious, you don't know you're in victim consciousness, and you just think you're a victim of reality. This channel ain't about that. This channel ain't about, This channel is about transcending victim consciousness and realizing you're a creator. You create your reality. And so you do that from the present moment, conscious creation. And you have to let those old limitation programs go. You have to let a lot of the old things that you learn that were wrong about reality go. They're old programs that are nonsense, because those old programs, those delusions, are creating your reality, and you don't want false information creating your reality, because all that's going to create is disasters, right? So if you had the old, because people are still operating in old programming, even though science is telling us a different thing, we're still operating on old, outdated information. People still are operating in their subconscious mind that time is real. It's not. And when you marry yourself into the present moment, that's how you tap into higher states of consciousness, where you start to bring in certain abilities like clairvoyance, clairsentience, and all those type of things. That's when you start to be able to tap into those. Those are higher states of consciousness, and you begin to access them once you get better and better at marrying yourself to the present moment, and doing so in a calm and relaxed state. Because the thing is, creation is finished. So when you're in the present moment, it's kind of like the whole tree is in the acorn. So it might seem like, to the logical mind, that you can access the whole tree in this present moment, because the whole tree is in the acorn. It's all happening now. So your consciousness is like a time machine. All you have to do is you have to collapse that time. First, you have to realize that time is an illusion, creation is finished, and then you collapse that time, and you'll get that information. And that's where faith comes in. Because for the ego, this information is difficult to, it might go against some of the ego's programming, you know what I mean? And so that's why it needs to trust. Trust the self. Yeah, so you have to, and check out a book by R.J. Spina called Change Your Mind. That'll help you deprogram the subconscious mind. That'll help you deprogram all the things in the subconscious mind. It gives you things to follow to help you, because a lot of the things hide from your conscious awareness. So it gives you strategies and techniques to help you discover things. And sometimes this process can be taxing on your ego, on your body, because it might make you feel a certain type of way when you reveal certain things about your ego that you may be like, that you're blocking out. And so this journey isn't for the weak. This is about growth. So the body is going to react, right? Because you're digging up trauma, you're digging up things that you may be wrong about. So your body's going to react. So these like, so going through this is difficult. Like the spiritual awakening was really, it can be savage on the ego, but it's going to be the greatest thing, that will happen to you. You just, if you have the strength to just keep going through it and realize that you're not the body. So just allow your body to feel the emotions, allow your mind, you're not the thoughts, allow your mind to, whatever, and realize your infinite awareness and just go through the process, right? Because spiritual awakening isn't just like, you like, it's all love and light. No, a lot of times the anger comes up for you to process it. Sadness comes up for you to process it. You got to break addictions. People will come in your life that'll trigger some of your deepest traumas. That's what you hear. I'm sure, the twin flame shit. I would have never believed in the twin flame journey in a billion years if I hadn't gone through it. But it's all part of your, maybe I'll talk about that in another video. My twin flame journey, it was savage. But it was savage, but it was such a catalyst. Such a catalyst. But yeah, like but yeah, you got to reprogram all the stuff out of your head. No, where was I? The spiritual awakening. So the spiritual awakening, a lot of times your awakening will kind of destroy your ego. A bunch of stuff will happen to trigger your ego and just, you know what I mean? And because the point of the spiritual awakening is to realize that you're not your ego. And so it'll take a lot of things that like shock you, you know what I mean, to shock you out of it. And so the true spiritual awakening can be rough. And so you'll go through phases where it's like real rough, and then you'll elevate in conscious and you'll feel great. And then you can enjoy that for a while. Then once you're ready, and you don't have to go up in consciousness, but if you want to, that's what this channel is about. Then you'll go through another part where it'll be rough. It seemed like everything, people falling out of your life, things, everything, it just seems like, you go through that, just realize it's part of the process. It's normal. You know what I mean? You might feel like you're going crazy, whatever. Then you'll elevate in consciousness. Then you'll go through something again. You know what I mean? It's, and so, yeah, so so all that is normal. So anger, you'll be feeling all, great. Then things like sadness will come up, old wounds will come up. You'll have to go through breaking addictions. You know what I mean? With all that'll be difficult. So, but see, all this needs to happen. All this needs to happen because to get to your highest reality, old stuff got to go. The stuff that's holding you back got to go. The weaknesses got to go. And so a lot of that stuff is going to surface. Things are going to come through to make you feel that trauma or whatever, but it's all part of the process. Just stay strong. So, okay. So, yeah. And so but you got to go. Also, you got to go through a process of reprogramming your mind, letting go of the limitations that belong to the traumatized, fragmented ego mind identity. You got to let them go. And a lot of that shit that you got from the society, a lot of the shit that you got from religions and things that were false or misidentifications that you identify with, you got to let them go, you know. And so this can be a letting go, even when it's bad stuff that you need to let go of, is hard for the ego, you know. I mean, just like, you know, think of it like addictions, because we get attached even to bad stuff, of course, like, you know, like alcohol. You know, it was very hard for me to let go of that. Limitations, doubt. You know, I was attached to doubting myself, letting go of that, letting go of all weakness or whatever things. It can be because we identify with all that stuff. So, like, there's a time where it's like you think that's who you are. So, once it's starting to be released, you're just like, well, then who the fuck am I? Like, you thought that was like a lot of times you'll think you're this, and then that'll be taken from you, and you're like, well, damn, who am I now that I don't have those insecurities? I thought I was my insecurities. I thought I was this job. I thought I was this you know what I mean, my past. I thought I was. And so you're like, so this can be, it's like an ego death. So this journey ain't for, that's what, because people get attached to their, that's why they fight so hard for things, is because we think we are our political affiliation, we think we are our race, we think we are our experiences of our past, we think we are our likes and dislikes. So once you, when you go through a spiritual awakening and these things start to change, he's like, you know what I mean? You start to like things you used to dislike. You dislike things it messes with your mind. You could, because the ego thinks it is these things. It thinks it is its past. And so once these things start to get removed, you're like, you know what I mean? You're just like, it's wow. You know what I'm saying? You know, when I was I identified with my addictions. I identify with the good things and the bad things. You know what I mean? You're none of those things. You're infinite awareness. You know, people identify with being overweight. They're the overweight guy. Okay, what happens when that weight drops off? People get attached to things that, you know what I mean, all type of things, because that their ego gets attached to it. And so it's a little discombobulating when you go from this type of person to another type of person. You know, you start to dress different, and then you realize all that other stuff, you weren't that. So the spiritual awakening can be difficult, but it'll be the greatest thing that ever happened to you. But like I say, but it's kind of like working out. You gotta, you know, the muscles gotta tear. You be sore. You know, you're gonna walk around sore, your legs sore, your arms sore, you can't move. You know what I mean? That's growth. And so spiritual growth, a lot of things gotta break off. Old friends that were kind of like not that good for you, you're attached to them, you love them, but they got to go to make room for people that match your, I don't even like saying better or anything like that, but people that match your current frequency, because a lot of times the old people don't match who you are now, and so those people got to go. All right, I guess I got to end this because I think maintenance is here or something. All right. Peace out.